To order, can we stand for pledge allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to have a moment of silence for the tragedy that took place in Florida yesterday. It's the worst dream of a school board, a superintendent of a school system, and our hearts and thoughts go out to our fellow school board members and the community there in Florida. Can we have a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have a roll.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Any additions? All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, please say no. Okay. The next item we have on the agenda is comments from members of the community. Would anyone like to come up and say something? Please come up.
The one community member.
Remember?
Oh, there's two.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
My name is Janelle Lynch, and I have 4 kids in the Charlottesville public school system. I just wanted to make a quick comment. I was excited to learn about the Piedmont Promise program that potentially may be in the budget and implemented into the school system. I think it's a great opportunity for students to extend their education beyond what programs are already in high school, and also to help grow the Charlottesville community and the professional community in the city. So I just wanted to say that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that was. Any other members of the community would like to speak? Yeah. You're like, what the? He about to jack. Yeah. Okay, the next item on the agenda is board members. Do you have any comments?
I do not.
I just wanted to add that today I visited Venable, and speaking of security, they had their security door barriers installed, I think, during Christmas break, and it was very good. And I asked Erica what was there originally, because they did a really good job of installing the door and things into the existing building. She had to tell me what was there before, so they did a great job at it. So
That's great.
yeah. Okay, so the next item are action items. It's the approval of the 2018-2019 budget.
And Ms. Hoover is going to give you a summary of our budget proposal.
Thank you.
And then we'll move for your response.
Good afternoon, Chairman Wade.
Good afternoon.
This slide summarizes the changes in the budget, and the total budget being presented is a reflection of all the decisions that have been made by the board. There have been no changes to the budget since the January 24th work session. Just to recap, the overall change in the budget has been $2,417,072. The budget includes a city request of $2,667,598 for a total budget of $84,062,686.
And we'll answer any questions that you might have.
Um,
I think we've gone over this
Yeah.
over and over, so I don't have much more to add in terms of the request. I think just in terms for the public to know, if this is your first time, that it does include a pay raise and additional staff. And something that we've been talking about a little bit was a promise program. And I know I've been talking with Dr. Atkins to talk about how could we implement this in the city's budget, within the budget of our request and our existing budget. So as we go along, I would like to talk more about that, but, I don't want to monopolize the time if anybody has items on the list that we actually currently have.
I'm going down this end. Sherry or Adam?
No, I'm assuming this is the same budget that we have, that we presented to City Council at our work session, that we have gone over in our own work sessions. There's no changes.
It is,
Keep going. The items are on the additional pages.
yes.
Well, I guess my confusion about this is that it's 2.4, and I've seen that number kind of go up and down, and I'm just curious how we got to 2.4, because
No, we're at 2.6.
2.6 for
Oh.
the city request.
thank you, that's all.
Thank you. 2,667,598.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. McKeever, the 2,417,000 is the change, the budget change. Yes,
City request, I see.
yes,
Because we had some leftover funding.
right.
Lisa, did you have any question? Okay.
So the leftover funding is from it's because that's always that's not, that made me a little, and maybe there's a different, I know it's fund balance from 2017-18,
Correct. But it
So-
accrues each year.
right? And we have a MOU with the city about how we, and is this a change to that MOU?
It is not. This reflects a number of years where this accrues. At the end of each year, we have an agreement with the city that when we have year-end funds, that the first 100,000 will be returned to the city, to the CIP or small caps. And then the next 100,000 is we keep as fund balance. And then if there's any additional funding, then we split that with the city. I believe last year fund balance was 27,000, around 27,000. 42,000. Thank you.
Well, are we ready to,
Any other questions, Jennifer or Lisa?
So then, when
Mr.
I-
Chair. And speaking of fund balance, as Ms. Lawfer and I have talked, we've done some research on the College Promise program, and there are 6 community colleges across the Commonwealth that currently have a College Promise program in place. And so we've been reading quite a bit about those programs and the structure of those programs. And it's a combination of a community effort, philanthropic effort, and school division effort. So as we take a look at fund balance, and each year, year-end funds, we make decisions about how to allocate those funds. So we are going to ask the board, as you look at this budget, to also consider allowing us to come back with year-end funds and set aside a portion of those year-end funds to allocate to the college program, the College Promise program. And then we'll talk in more detail about how we might distribute that, and a committee that would be convened to take a look at protocol for the distribution of that. And we'll use best practices from the other communities that already have it in place. And they have had this in place since 2007. Some, I think there's one maybe 2005.
Yeah. It's been 2009, so this
Yeah.
isn't new.
is this part of the budget approval then?
No, it's just
a
when
separate
we are
item?
talking about year-end funds, we'd
Yeah.
like to come back and talk to you more about the year-end funds.
Okay.
think I just want to know, well, if I'm, just to have the knowledge that the board has the will to do this might be something that is important.
Yeah, I think there is support for it, but what I'd like to do, that's not part of the budget, and I don't want, this discussion to kind of get in.
We're not going to go down that road. We're
Yes.
just talking, we're going to talk about the Promise program in the future. But just because we were talking about fund balance, that's what was brought up.
Okay. Well, I'd like to move approval of the 2018-2019 budget for Charlottesville Public Schools.
Second.
Second, any changes or comments? If not, can I get a motion? All in favor, please say yes.
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 All opposed, please say no. Okay, thank you. Dr. Atkins, you have a
Thank you.
budget.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Chair, now we will present this budget. You will present it to City Council.
March
March-
the 5th.
March
the
5th.
First Monday, yes.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Any comments?
Just thank you for all of the input from staff, from our teachers and administrators, and our community members. I think this budget does represent our commitment to attracting and retaining highly qualified teachers and staff in our school division. It also is a commitment to making sure that we provide resources that help all of our students to achieve at higher levels. Regardless of where they are when they come into our school division, this budget has funding and programs in place and the supportive programs that will help our students individually to achieve their best. So thank you for all of the board input and helping to develop this budget, and thank you for your support.
And the staff.
And
Yeah,
Our
especially
great,
staff.
outstanding staff work on
Outstanding.
this. Yes.
There being no objections, we stand adjourned.
Oh,
So,
so we're not going to talk about... Oh, I thought we were after.
Well, I think I want to propose that we put this in the June retreat.
Okay.
may I just,
We're adjourned, I guess.
based on the conversation we had in a previous closed session, if I could take a second just to throw my 2 cents in about this topic. We are a little behind in terms of the timeline for making a Piedmont Promise program work for this coming August. Right. So as you're thinking about this process, you're really probably allocating funds and person power towards the planning so that when January comes around and the next round of FAFSA comes out, then you have the opportunity to assist students in the FAFSA process so that the money can support the students